Yes. I'm still over here
Pretty
dancing.
vibey. It's a pretty vibey song.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right, we got James. What's going on, James? Always the first one in here. I gotta.
Yes, he is.
Sammy. It was a
What's up, Sammy?
really crazy clutch. We were talking about it in the backstage. Really crazy clutch you got. You'll be hearing from me soon. Just putting that out
Don't do
there.
it, Sammy. Don't do it.
Ooh. Surplus. What is this? Third or fourth time they have been on here. My boy Vince from Chicago. Give him a follow on Instagram if you don't already, please. They have insane stuff. Insane.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. Vince and his wife, probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, started buying in really nice stuff. And so I think this year they'll have hopefully some nice stuff, but next year, from what I know, is going to be a stupid year for them.
Good.
But yeah, what's up, guys? Today we got Jared from Selective Creations on. Never met Jared before. This is second podcast you've been on. So tell us a little bit about yourself, history, background, what you're doing now.
Well, I've been into this, especially ball pythons, since I was like 8 years old. Back in like 97, I think it was. I discovered, an albino ball python, and the only thing comparable at the time was like an albino Burmese python. And then I started learning about the other morphs, mutations at the time, which there weren't many. There was like Jolliffe Exanthic, there was the TSK, or Jolliffe Exanthic, and then there was the albino, and then clown and hypo, and some other morphs started coming out recessively, but spider and pastel and all that was relevant at the time. Really expensive too. And I don't remember what year it was. I would say it was like, I want to say 2002. I had went to my first show when I was 13. I had already paired and bred normals at the time, but I went to my first show, and at that show in like 2002, I think Mojaves were $5,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and 13-year-old me, I'm like, can I hold it? My dad's like, he's not holding it. And the guy handed it to me, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I want. This is like my passion, just the morphs and everything. Like, it was already my passion before that moment, but that was the moment that really sealed it for me when I actually got to hold that for the first time.
Yeah, it's a way new experience.
Yeah.
Mine was, oh my goodness, maybe 11 years ago. So the first time I ever held a ball python, and I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
after that, I pretty much was messing around with just the normals at the time, because even a normal female was like $300-$400, because you could breed a Mojave to her and produce a clutch that was worth $30,000. So normals worth their weight in gold back then, and I was breeding normals. But it was I think I was 18 in like 2007 when I bought like my first morph, which was a spider of all things.
There you go.
Back then they didn't have the negative connotations or anything like that. We knew they had wobble and all that, but nobody really cared back then. And then I got some animals from the snake keeper, Danny Collette, and started building a collection of, what I could afford back then, and just bred for fun, for what I could do. And then I took a hiatus, and I got into like more advanced species like green tree pythons and emerald tree boas, and that kind of took me away from the ball python world for 10 years or so, and maybe even more than that. Just a little, about 10 years. But now I'm back, and I'm back with a vengeance, basically. I'm back with that passion reignited, and I think that has a lot to do with the way that the bigger breeders are, are producing the things that they're producing, that's just making it exciting again.
There you go. Right.
What is that
Right.
about? Like, I haven't. Did he like mean to send that to his wife and it was in here or what?
Oh, no. Yeah, my clothes are dry too. It's probably towards me, you know. Okay. So when did you get back in officially? When did you start buying ball pythons again?
That was the beginning of last year.
Okay.
That's when I started reinvesting and really building again.
Got you. What was your first, purchase? What was the first?
Well, the funny thing is about that is that I first got back in and I was just like, my passion's reignited and I just want to breed. But so I honestly just bought a het clown female for my first one again,
Yep.
just because I was like, I'm gonna make a clown. I'm gonna make some cool clown stuff. But then I was like, I'm sick of doing electric. I mean, I love doing electrical, but like, I'm sick of the day in and day out doing it. So I was like, I think I'm finally gonna invest,
Yep.
And I started going for Clown Pied project was the first project that I really wanted to invest in, and that's probably because I was holding on to that ideology that it was like it's still a big thing. Don't get me wrong, but like I had this ideology at the time last year that Clown Pied was still like a revolutionary combination, whereas like I had to get back into it to really realize that we're already at 4 or 5 gene recessive pets and stuff like that. So once I figured that out, I started really just diving into my knowledge. I'm like, I know what to do. I've been around this game a long time. I've seen the morphs come in. I've seen them get stacked. I can project what could possibly work and what could possibly not work. I've seen a lot of mixtures over the years of morphs and combos that don't work, that wash out the second bottom half of the snake or take away the pattern and bust it up too much to where you just can't really tell what it is anymore. And I know kind of what to stay away from now, so I've really invested in a lot of different mutations that will work together, that not only have been proven to work together, but that I think in my mind will also produce something that's gonna, be game changing.
Okay.
There's
Maybe not entirely.
Jamie.
What's up, JB?
So
Hi,
are
Jamie.
you playing it more safe, or like you can't really just play the safety, right?
I
You
don't
gotta.
think I don't think I would call it playing it safe
Playing it
at
smart.
all, because I'm gonna be going for the long game. That's what it's about. My projects are not 2-3 year projects. My projects are 10 to 20 year projects, depending on my odds. And throughout the next 5 years, that 20-year project's gonna change. And 20 years, 15 years from 5 years from now, that project is gonna be probably 3 layers deeper. So it's
Yep.
always evolving. We're always growing, and if you want to be progressive in this industry, you have to think ahead. You can't be thinking of the now. You can think of the now, but like the now is, in my mind, like I want to make my pairings that I want to put together, that I'm trying to plan out, is going to give me not first year or second year, because those are going to be me trying to hit odds basically, but third year, fourth year, fifth year, I'm looking at trying to basically recycle my collection, because I want to be producing animals that are going to, in those 2 to 3 years, basically they're gonna outcompete my animals that I have now as far as producing. So and I lost where I was going with that, but
No, I think that should be the goal with almost everything. There's animals that'll stay, but depending on the genetic quality of it, it'll breed once or twice, but by the time its babies are ready to go, you have genetically better animals. They're ready to go, and you sell the parents, right? So
And at
my
the same
collection,
time,
yeah, my collection 5 years from now, I might not have any of these snakes. Who knows? Because all
yeah.
their babies might be ready.
And at the same time, like, I'm buying animals that I think I'll still need in 5 years.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not trying to invest in animals that I'm like, all right, I'm going to produce what I want and then I'm going to try to sell it. And then, like, what? Put it on an auction on Morph Market because by that time it might be less desirable. So I'm trying to buy animals that I'm probably not going to hit what I want the first 3 seasons because the genetics are just so packed, you know?
Yeah.
I have, this season I'm not really doing any pairings, but I do have one adult female over at Shannon with Green Dragon Brokers, and it's a spot nose Enchi calico pastel het clown, and that's being paired to a super red stripe leopard yellow belly clown.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
I'm trying to go for some world firsts in that pairing. It's all odds, but.
So I do want to shout out Sammy though on this clutch while we're talking about some good old breeding. Hang on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen this yet.
That's just incredible.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That
you
one
have
right
the
there,
pairing?
Sammy. Sammy, you need to write my name on that one.
stop.
Tyler, no, down Tyler.
Well, okay. Maybe.
But so I do know they're like super inchy.
Super OD.
I don't know about super OD.
It's
It
I know
was
the pair.
It was an
Okay,
OD
I don't.
Enchi, right? On both sides.
Yeah, it was an OD
Yeah.
Enchi double hat to OD Enchi double hat.
Yeah, on both sides.
So
Super OD, super Enchi, clown pied potential.
or hypopide.
Oh, hypo. Okay.
They were
Hypo.
hypopide. Yeah.
Okay.
Those things were sick. Yeah, congratulations on that, Sammy, if you're still in here. I know you were in here earlier, but that was
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna load the video here real quick.
Yeah.
It may be a
and
little bit
the
harder.
odds on that. He hit the odds.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay, Jared. So, what are whatever specific genetics you invested into? Top 3 that you decided.
Oh, God. Top 3? Hold on. I have a list of I don't know.
The genetics
I
you
have
invested
a
in
lot.
most, right?
I have a lot of genetics, but as far as I think we should say recessively because I think most people invest on the recessive side and then they carry over their incomplete dominance and codoms into their recessive investments. So my biggest investments are going to be Hypo DG Clown Project, Clown Pied for sure, and then I'm also going to do some MJ Exanthic, Lightning Pied Clown, Hypo stuff. So MJ Exanthic, Hypo Clown stuff. And then on the other side of that, I'm also going to be going for some Ultramil Clown Pied stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the place. I have a little bit of everything. Like, if I told you all the morphs that I had, you would think I was crazy. Like, just in the small number of snakes, so to say, I have compared to others, I have over 30 genetics. So
There's nothing wrong with that because
I
it's
think I have
gotta
8
work
different
that long game.
recessives. Yeah, I have 8 different recessives and stuff. But the thing is that other than my deep clown project, I don't have a lot of single recessive stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's good in the way that the industry is moving to, with away from a lot of the single recessive stuff. They're still great, but they need to have other great genetics in their codom wise, in my opinion. or
Yeah.
single recessive with a het, single visual with a het, probably.
A
Yeah.
a clutch that I saw recently that actually really like I was excited about. It wasn't mine or nothing, obviously, but Ozzy, he posted up that it was a Cypress OD clutch, and man, those hets were better looking than the visuals. And that right there, I even commented on that. I was like, this right here shows you that you don't have to hit the recessives to hit the
No.
best animal on the clutch.
And that was my next thing to say. So not everything should be in a recessive. Like one of my favorite genes is Hurricane, and I think it's amazing. The supers just by itself.
Yeah.
You know, the
I have
Hurricane Clown,
one
it just doesn't do anything for me.
I have one hurricane snake. I
Really.
have two hurricane snakes. One's in the Sunset Project, and then one's in the Clown Project. I'm gonna pull her out just because she's one of my favorite. She's one of my favorite hurricanes that I've ever seen, and she's just a single gene hurricane. She does have pinstripe in her, but I believe she might have something else, and I can't. I mean, I have speculations, but from the pairing, there's nothing that tells you what it is.
Wow.
I mean, look at that head stamp and the neck behind the head.
That thing almost looks red stripe.
It's wild, and the pattern is just way more busy than a normal pinstripe hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there was, I think, special in the collection. So I'm if I had to take a guess, just a random whack at it, I think it may be a special pinstripe hurricane het clown female, but we're gonna have to figure out what the extra thing is going on with her because she's way busier than a normal pinstripe hurricane.
She is beautiful. I love Pinstripe. It's one of my favorites as well.
And I think that hurricane and pinstripe is one of like the best combinations.
I agree. The Hurricane
Yeah.
Complex trick stuff with pin does, when you add a couple other genes on top of it, almost makes like a monsoon.
Yeah, and that's what I think that this one's similar to. It's similar to like
Yeah.
it's similar to a monsoon, but that's with, like I said, with something else in it because
Mhm.
a pinstripe hurricane's not that busy.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, look at her dorsal pattern. Her dorsal pattern is just wild.
Damn.
Real crazy up by the neck. But
I love
she's my favorite hurricane snake that I have, and I'd have to look at my records, but off the top of my head, right now, what I have going to her is probably my triple het male from Miguel at Always Evolving Pythons, and that's a blackhead, black pastel, leopard chocolate, probable redhead. We believe it to be redhead at this point. Triple het hypo DG clown.
Ooh.
So, and then that's a Lelix, so all babies will be chocolate or blackhead.
Right. Right. The chocolate DG Hypo Clown stuff is so nice. I got to see my buddy just bought a black pastel chocolate DG Hypo Het Clown from Miguel a few weeks ago. Like, oh my god, she's ridiculous looking in person. Like, you see the pictures he posts on there, and he's been hitting a lot of the chocolate Hypo DG stuff for a few years now. But like, you see it in person, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I got this mail from that. He posted that video, and it said, "How did we hit this snake?" And it had the picture of the visual of my mail, basically double visual of what he is. And I was like, man, I gotta watch that before work. So I popped it on at like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, let's see what he got, because that snake looked wicked. You know, gunmetal gray, bluish tone. And, he goes through the clutch, and the first thing he pulls out, he's like, this is the only boy we got in the clutch. And he's like, he's like, I keep sexing all the other ones, and I'm just waiting for one to pop hemipenes because I need a male out of the visuals. And I'm like, I hit him up at like 5:30 my time, which was literally 2:30 in the morning his time. And I'm like, hey, do you want to sell this male? And I screenshotted it to him. And he's like, yeah, I'll sell it. I was like, how much? And he hit me with the number, and I said, sold.
This is
Like-
like our one of my favorite pinstripes that we own.
Okay.
So she's black pastel, pinstripe, spot nose, redhead, possible
Wow.
head hypo.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Spot nose, pinstripe,
black pastel,
black
redhead.
pastel, and redhead. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you said possible redhead?
No, possible hypo.
it's- Oh, okay, definitely red. Yeah, definitely redhead.
I'm excited to see more redhead hypo stuff this this year.
More.
So I've got Charlie,
No.
his little shed right here. I'll be sending.
It's morphed out reptiles. He's working a lot with the redhead hypo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, redhead hypo stuff.
Yeah, I was just talking to, again, one of my buddies who's got hopefully a girl going. He got from Shane Kelly. It's like a 3-gene, 4-gene redhead het hypo female. And I'm like, oh, buddy, I might need babies from that.
Yeah.
He got her as a hatchling, and I remember when he got her. And now she's like 20 millimeters. I'm like, oh god, well, I'm gonna need that.
I really like that snake though. That black pastel spot nose redhead. See, I've never seen the black pastel layered in the spot nose redhead before, and the spot nose redhead is such a overpowering combination in itself that I was like, it was hard to see it. It almost looked like it had something else going on.
Yeah. So next season, you said you only got one pairing this season. Next season, what is it looking like for girls growing up? How many pairings might you have next year?
Between 4 to 7, just to get started. That's gonna be my takeoff year as far as just starting up.
What's up, Will?
So I got some ultramel het pied girl growing up.
Yep.
I have a double het clown pied, my het clown girl that'll go next year. I'm saving her because I'm gonna put that 5-gene male with her.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no loss there. So, and then I also have a bongo het clown, a hypo. I have to get her tested, but she's a hypo, possible double het, ultramel pied.
Ooh.
And that's going to be going into a hypo clown het pied.
Nice. Who'd you get the hypo posset, the female from?
That one was from Steve at Steve's Morphs.
Steve's a good guy.
Yeah, I was wearing his shirt earlier. Now I'm showing off Jeremy at Bowd.
Yep. So have you been going to shows now since you've been back?
Yeah.
Have you been to Tinley or anything, or any of the big shows yet?
Didn't get to the big shows. I do plan on going to Daytona this year.
Awesome.
Oh yes, I will see you there.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first time that I'll ever go to Daytona.
Me
My
too.
first show. So
Yep.
that's exciting.
Nice.
I wish I would have made Tinley earlier on, but then it was like the toss up between Tinley or Daytona, and Daytona's easier for me, so I went with that this year.
So where are you located?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida, just south of Tampa.
Right. Nice. So yeah, Daytona's probably not too bad.
Yeah,
no,
right.
compared
I'm
to
always
Tinley.
at the Tampa shows, and
Yeah.
usually I go up to Lakeland and Kissimmee and Orlando and bounce around.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
We're gonna take a quick sponsor break, y'all. you again to our sponsors. Y'all are freaking amazing. They do a lot of stuff for us, and we do appreciate them. And one more thing, I do want to show this real quick. Billy is having a barbecue this weekend. If you're in up north, if you can make it all the way up north, go see Billy. He's barbecue and a sale. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He does
I
that
bet you.
every year.
I bet
What's
you if
that?
you buy the barbecue, he gives you a discount.
You better buy a lot of barbecue.
Yeah. If I get some ribs, do I get a monsoon?
Right.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man?
That would be nice.
So another girl that I have that I'm hoping to be ready by next year. She's going to be one that is in like the 5 to 7. Might make it, might not. Is a leopard orange dream yellow belly double het clown pied.
Ooh, nice.
And I haven't gotten specifically a male yet for that project with her, but I do have the male hypo clown het pied. That's the original plan, but I'm kind of leaning towards putting her into her own project.
Okay.
So, do you have
So-
any snakes for sale right now?
No, I just shipped the last 3 that I had.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're killing it then.
Snake Bros, Justin over at Snake Bros got him. He didn't post anything up yet, but I know he got him. So
That's always good. Well,
one
Tyler
of them is oh, go ahead.
Tyler has a clutch. He's fixing a cut. What day?
Monday. I get back from the show Sunday night, and yeah, I'll be waking up, cutting that clutch.
What was that clutch?
Say pastel leopard double het clown pied to clown pied male. I think there's something else in him. I bought him from Kyle Hoffman, and Kyle imported him from Europe and made some interesting babies for the guy in Europe. Couldn't pinpoint what it was. Had a couple clutches for Kyle, had 1 or 2 interesting babies. Then last year he had 1 clutch for me, and it's like I showed Holly one of the babies. It was a visual clown, but half the pattern was almost like a blade clown with no pattern on one side, and then the other side was normal clown pattern. So it was just
like
really, really
like
weird.
a chimera.
It almost looked like a chimera, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So that'll be my first shot in a long road to make clown pieds. That was my first, my second project I really got into, and
Nice.
missed them last year. She laid 10 eggs, so I better get one.
Them odds.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
the year for odds, knock on wood.
I'm hoping I'm gonna need good odds on a lot of stuff. So yeah, like you said, the clown pied stuff for you was what you bought into
One of the
right
first.
after you got in. I bought a
That was
lot
my
of
passion
clown pied
project,
stuff.
really.
Yeah, back
That's
I started buying clown pied stuff probably 3 years ago. I bought actually, funny enough, the first one I bought, or actually it was the second one, was this. Just now she's an adult and gravid, but just a giant clown pied girl.
Yeah, she's a big girl.
Yeah. So,
Nice saddling too. That's what I go for.
and I bought her at almost 1,000 grams a few years ago. She was expensive. And then reabsorbed on me 2 years straight. So that was a kick. That sucked. And this is her first year going. So I'm excited with her, making really fun stuff with her this year.
Fingers crossed.
That one, if she lays, everything will be the same. They're all triple hets, which is nice. But yeah, the clown pied stuff this year hopefully will kick off with that clutch, and I'll have a lot more soon.
So speaking of the spot nose redhead interaction,
Oh yeah.
this was a animal that I got a really good deal on because of my eye. So I was looking for redhead het clowns because it was a project I wanted to add, a morph I wanted to add to the project, and I ended up somehow in like possibilities, and this girl popped up as a spot nose pastel yellow belly het clown, possible redhead, And I immediately knew that she had the redhead in her.
Yeah.
Just the spot nose, and then you can see the redhead and the alien heads there. This side might be better, especially along the bottom there.
And she's het clown, is what you said, or
100% het clown.
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So do you breed anything other than ball pythons?
Not currently. I have in the past. I used to breed. Let's see. I've bred some corn snakes. I've bred bearded dragons one time, some Kenyan sand boas, and then I had an attempt at breeding green stripe pythons, but she reabsorbed, I think.
How
Yeah, I
long
heard
did you
those
have
were
the
hard.
trees?
What's that?
How long did you have the green trees?
I was into green tree pythons from 2013 until 2018.
Nice. How many did you
About
have?
5 years. My collection at its biggest, I think, was like 13 of them, which they were all very high-end designer green tree pythons. I had Calico Outcross to Manokwari, or to Maroc. I had Black Pearl to Manokwari. I had I can go on rambling a bunch of lineage stuff, but no one's gonna know what it is.
Right.
But I had some really deep lineage animals, and that, honestly, that was the biggest stake in my heart. Like, when I had to sell that collection, it took me out of reptile peeping completely until last year,
Yeah.
to be completely honest.
What are your
Wow.
overall expectations for the 2024 breeding season?
What are my expectations
Yeah. What are you pairing?
for
How
next
many
year?
clutches?
This year? This year. Okay, so this year, like I said, I'm in my preliminary stages, but I have a female spot nose Enchi Calico pastel het clown, and she's with Shannon at Green Dragon Brokers, and she's being paired with a super red stripe leopard yellow belly clown. So at minimum, all red stripe het clown or red stripe clown. And with the depth of genetics, if we were just to hit a red stripe clown or a red stripe het clown, that's equivalent to hitting the best snake in the whole, the whole odds.
Right.
So we're pretty much going to be hitting in the mid range, and if we hit low or high, it's going to be good odds either way.
Yeah, that's the good and the bad thing about those pairings is you'll get a lot of your like 3-4 gene, 2-3-4 gene animals all over the place.
Yeah,
like, which is nice. You'll get a huge diversity as you know. But hopefully you get lucky in the good way and hit the 6 gene, maybe 7 gene, and not the 1 gene.
Yeah, I'm hoping out of that pairing for if I had to think about it, probably minus the leopard and pastel. So red stripe, calico, Enchi, spot nose, yellow belly, calico. Yeah, that's it. Calico, red stripe, Enchi, spot nose, clown.
No yellow belly.
Red stripe, yellow belly. Yeah, red stripe, yellow belly, Enchi, spot nose,
calico.
Enchi, spot nose, clown, calico clown.
Yeah.
There's so many genes. It's like, what the hell?
Yep, it gets harder and harder every pairing.
Yep, it's like, all right, I can get this, and that, but I want this, and that. I have it all written down because trying to go off the top of your head sometimes it's just
too hard,
too much.
Yeah. So, how many snakes total do you have now?
I have currently. I'm sitting at 46.
I say 46.
46. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Not a ton, but those are all going to be my breeders.
No, that's good.
Especially, and by not this season coming up this winter, but by next winter, I'm hoping to pair my whole collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What's your male to female ratio? roughly?
My male to female ratio right now is, I think I have 5 males and
Oh, wow.
42 females, 41 females. I still have a few males to add.
What's up, Frank?
Mr. Frank.
Check out Frank's page. He's the one who has the nice black pastel chocolate DG hypo hat clown that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
Thing's wicked. There you go.
I can't wait to see
And-
that.
And what are your plans with her, with the redhead stuff, the redhead project?
So, as of right now, this girl is going to be, she's planned to see my triple het male, but
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, and that's only because
You never know
what
what you
males.
have.
I don't
which
know
is
what
really-
males I might add,
Oh yeah.
but for right now, it's going to be the blackhead, black pastel, chocolate, leopard, redhead, triple het, hypo DG clown paired with her, and she's a pastel, spot nose, redhead, yellow belly het clown. So super redhead, chocolate or blackhead, leopard.
And you can get spot nose in there too, which
Spot
is
nose, yeah.
chocolate and blackhead.
And
That'd
with
be
super
fun.
redhead, who knows what spot nose is going to do? I don't think we've ever seen that combo.
So if money wasn't an object, what project would you buy into?
If money wasn't an object, I've been looking at a few already. So the one that I'm really interested in, honestly, that's like, out in the face of everybody in the open is zebra.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a difference personally. I haven't done a lot of looking into it, but I've done my own comparisons of Mackenzies and zebras, and I see the similarities, but I don't see them being exactly the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that the Mackenzie has a lot more rounded pattern to it than the zebra has more jagged pattern, but that's just from what I've seen, which was a small sample.
Yeah.
So I lean more towards working with the zebra personally.
Yeah, Frank's probably gonna post it here soon in the comments, but zebra's interesting to me. I don't know if anyone else does the same thing, but I like it. I think it looks all right, but they scare me to buy because they're so expensive, but also don't sell. Like they haven't been moving at a rate
But
that
that's
is
the market.
right. But it's hard to buy an $8,000 animal that's been on Morph Market since early 22, right?
Yeah,
In my
because
opinion.
you can only project that next year it's going to drop 1,000.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
And what's spending it now to breed it in 6 months rather than buying it in 6 months?
right. But that's my whole thing with the zebra stuff is it just has not been selling. Right? Like I like it. I think the price is too high for me to buy into it right now. I love the high price stuff. It's great. Trust me, if they would sell at that price, that'd be great. But I've held off on zebra so far just because the people I've talked to and just looking at the market are like zebras haven't moved as quickly as even some of the other high-end projects.
Mhm.
Zach is right. It's not the market, it's the Mackenzie scare. And I believe it's a little bit of both. The Mackenzie scare is definitely limiting it because Mackenzies are a little bit less expensive than the zebras.
Yeah,
So
that's like Zach said. It isn't the market. A lot of other projects are moving, but for some reason zebra isn't. And that's the only reason I haven't decided to get into it.
Another project that I recently got into, I wasn't planning on getting into this project, but I'm very happy and excited that I did, is paint.
Oh man.
That's one I don't have, but has interested me a lot.
So this is going to be a good story for me to tell, at least.
Yeah.
So I was on Morph Market, and I was looking for the female pastel and Chicalco spot nose het clown. I was just looking for a female so I could invest into the pairing with my buddy, because he was like, hey, I just bought this super red striped leopard yellow belly clown male. I need a female for her. Buy one, find one, and we'll do a joint pairing. So I was in the process of looking for her when I came across a lesser paint female proven, $1,600. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. I was like, so I clicked it, just trying to do more research into it. And he had pictures of all the babies that she had produced. And he was like, in the description, he's like, I have this female. She's produced visual paints. I cannot tell if she's a visual herself. So I was looking at the baby offspring photos, and I'm like, there's like 3 and 3 visuals and 3 hets. I was like, it's got to be a visual. I want to reach out to this guy, talk to him a little bit, get some more photos. So I did talk to him for a while. Ended up determining, yes, you have a visual paint female. He was like, well, do you want to buy it? I was like, not really a project I'm looking at right now for breeding wise, because I don't have a setup like male for it yet or anything, but it's definitely something I want to get into. And what ended up happening was I ended up helping him with identification of a few clutches. And after talking and, becoming friends, he gifted me
Oh, wow.
a yellow belly cinnamon paint.
Heck yeah.
So this male is very special to me because obviously it was a gift. But he's insane.
Yeah, Zach said it a minute ago, but it is with the paint project nice. The price has gone up, right? So that's a fun project. I like the genes that's been worked into it. I haven't seen a lot of paint clown yet. I've only seen like one
Paint
or two.
in the clown is pretty wicked.
Right. It's super cool. And a few years ago, like I heard about paint, and they were not very expensive, and not a lot of people had them or wanted to work with them.
It's been around for years.
Yeah, it's been around forever. Like I heard about it.
Justin will tell you. Justin at Canova. Hold on, let me think. Was it Justin? I think it was Justin. I don't quote me. I may be wrong, maybe misspeaking, but I think it was Justin that had paint for like 8 years. And one of the bigger breeders had paint for many, many years. Didn't really do anything with it because they were so focused on the clown projects.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a decade of put those on the shelf, let's focus on clown. And a lot of these morphs and mutations got left behind in the dust. And I think right now we're seeing those breeders, they're starting to backtrack and grab those morphs again and bring them back forward because they're like, clown's been really, really condensed and saturated. So let's bring some more stuff back into the market, and
that's what happened with Zebra.
Yeah.
If you know the history on Zebra, is Steve Russis had it but didn't really work it too hard, and then I think sold almost all of it to Adam Chesla years and years ago, and Adam's been producing them, selling them sparingly. Yeah. And then now they're back into the limelight. But Steve was again focused more on different stuff, which is if you know Steve Russis and his collection, it's like it was probably smart. He's got some
yeah, definitely.
But
just like Justin, I mean, it was smarter for him to chase the multi-codon clowns and clown prides.
Right. But now you see the paint, the Zebra. There's one other, and that's where you can find gems. I was talking to someone years and years ago about a project that they were doing the same thing on, like a Dinker project. That same breeder was like, it's currently producing really nice stuff with that gene that I was talking about probably 4 years ago, getting the entire project from him because he was working on a whole nother gene that already has done crazy things in these past 4 years. Right. So with people who have those genetics scare me now, which is, I think, good and bad. It's like I want to see a lot more with genetics before I buy into them and know again they're proven genetics. They do X, Y, and Z with these other proven genetics before I go and spend money on them. So
I actually just one of the snakes that I just sent over to Justin at Snake Bros, that's a newer project, and it wasn't something I sold because I didn't want to work it. It was something I sold because I wanted to see. I needed the money for one, and I wanted to see it stay close, so I let it go there.
Stay close,
But,
and spreading a gene like that between a couple of breeders is nice.
Yeah.
You can only do so much, right? With the genetic, depending on the size of your collection. So if you let it go to one or two other breeders who are small to mid-size, it'll go 10x as quick. The project will. So I think
so the name of that morph, I don't know if anyone here has ever heard of it. It's called the Centauri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's I don't know if you guys are familiar with the red stripe Centauri clown that was produced.
Yeah.
They've produced the Centauri clown, they've produced the red stripe Centauri clown, ended up having an umbilical issue and it passed away. But
Centauri's what? Super Hatari, right?
no, Centauri is its own single gene, and Super Centauri is the super.
Okay.
So it's you're thinking of Hetari and Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Which
check.
I think
the
Hetari and Atari is similar to Pixel.
Centauri.
Not the same, but similar. I don't know. I like the Hetari stuff though.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those
Eastern Florida pythons is
oh my god. Yeah.
That's a breeder that is working the Centauri project, but not the originator of it. I can't recall the originator's business name off the top of my head.
That's where I knew it from. Was him. God, what's his name? I haven't talked to him in
It's been a while for me.
years. God. Yeah, me and him used to talk all the time.
Yeah, they definitely have some stuff coming out this year that they're hoping to hit that definitely will make waves with that project. I mean, if anyone's seen the Centauri red stripe clown, it looks nothing like a red stripe clown.
Cool. So if you had to have one project you have right now, get rid of the rest. Project. Not animal. Project. What project are you keeping?
I'm keeping out of all of them.
Yeah. Your triple recessive stuff, like your long run.
I'm probably keeping out of all of them. I'm probably keeping recessive wise. I'm probably keeping my. I'm gonna condense a few here. It's gonna be hypo. Let's see. God, that's hard.
Yeah. $1 million question.
You said a few at the start, which was like your hypo axanthic pied, your DG hypo clown.
Oh, you're talking about projects, so I'm thinking long-term project, obviously. So like my long-term project that I would hold on to more than anything else right now would probably be my True Ghost Clown Pieds, my MJ Xanthic True Ghost Clown Pieds.
Okay.
Because DG's obviously worked into that same project throughout the pairings.
Yep.
So DG, MJ Xanthic, True Ghost Piebalds.
There you go.
That would be like probably the one that I stick with if I was only allowed to have one.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's one, and it can fill 4 racks, so it'll work.
Exactly. Yeah. And it can fill 3 different projects.
Right. That's the more fun part about.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the point that I lost earlier that I was talking about when I was talking about my pairings and stuff. So my projected pairings for like 3 seasons out, like my first 2 seasons are going to be getting me there to the visual points of having doubles and triple visuals, hopefully. But like for the seasons beyond that, my goal is to always be going for things that I can only imagine. I always want to be shooting for things that I can only see with my mind's eye. And I want the byproducts of those pairings to be things that if I hit them, if I hit the byproduct, those are things that are hot on the market now. You know, that's where I'm trying to angle myself because I don't want to be producing things in 2 years that were hot this year as like my second best or best goal. You know, I want my best goal to be something that's going to put me ahead 5 years, and I want my byproducts to be something that still gets me ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
I've got
And
my question
A
here.
lot of RGI testing is going to come into that.
True.
Charlie testing. There we go. What is the dumbest thing someone has said to you after they find out you're a snake breeder?
It's over.
Oh no. Dang.
No, I'm
We have
kidding.
not
I
heard that
always
one yet.
disclose that from the beginning, but I don't know. The dumbest thing someone said is like, I don't know. There's never really been, I can't think of a dumb question that anyone's asked or a statement anybody's made other than like, you know, the dumbest thing is like, you know, someone says, oh, snakes are better dead than alive. That would be probably the dumbest thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, why do you do that? Snakes are better dead than alive. Like, I don't know. Like, there might be like that guy that said that at one point, but most of the time people are intrigued.
I agree.
Yeah, people are like, what? You breed
That's a thing.
snakes?
I don't get that. I get the only good snake's a dead snake, and then just
Yeah, that's usually
oh my gosh.
that's usually the worst thing you get from somebody. And it's
My-
like, well, the only good human's one that don't kill snakes.
Yeah.
My new favorite thing that people say, Holly, is like that's a thing, like as a question. It's like that's a thing. Like just really, how do you think whatever, even like Petco and PetSmart get their snakes? It's like they have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Just so you know. It's like I love
So
that.
I guess that would be a really good comeback. Just saying, oh, you don't like Petco?
It's like,
You know, just like
I don't know. It's just funny. It's like, well, they have to come from somewhere, so someone has to breed them. It's like it has to.
You just tell them, you're like, well, do you want them collected out of the wild and put into homes into tanks, or do you want them?
They
bred
probably
for the purpose of
would. They
being in
wouldn't know the
tanks?
difference. They wouldn't know the difference.
right.
Probably. The people who are asking, but
Yeah, that's true.
Classic, the super classic.
They see all of our snakes in these tubs, and they're like, you need to let those go in the wild.
no.
Oh
Those
my.
snakes would never survive.
True.
They're too colorful.
I've not heard that one.
Oh,
Have
you
not heard
haven't?
that one. No.
You haven't heard let them in the wild?
Not yet.
I've heard that.
Not like let them go out in like the wilds of
Yeah.
Florida, but like don't take them out of the wild. And you should leave them there and like
Put them back. It's like
things like
where?
that. Yeah, those are like the animal activists.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So, Tyler, we got anything else?
I think that's it for me.
You want to just show some stuff off?
Sure.
Yeah, go for
We
it.
love show and tell,
Go for
or
it.
show and sell.
off.
Either way.
Show and sell.
That's what everybody really wants to see.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. So, I'm never coming to your house. That's my favorite. Ooh.
this is my cinnamon sunset yellow belly, 66% possible het clown male.
When are you testing it?
Probably in a couple weeks. I mean, you know, I don't need the test done right this second, but I want to know for sure.
Very nice.
But that boy is one of my investments into the Sunset Project.
Oh,
I got some weird plans. I mean, I have some normal plans for the Sunset Project, and then I also have some weird plans just to kind of see. And the funny thing is that Jeremy Bowd of Bowd's Exotic Reptiles, he reached out to me when I was speaking on one of my weird projects, and he's like, "Hey, I got some double hets in the mix for that already."
Oh, nice.
So
Hey,
I'm probably
Steve.
gonna be
Courtney.
getting ahead in that project.
Stephen and Courtney hopped on when they heard Sunset spoke into the world.
I know, right? It was just like automatic, like their noses twitched and they jumped on.
Hey, Stephen and Courtney, excited for that pairing you got with Shannon. Can't wait to see if you guys get some sunset clowns out of that. This is a sunset cinnamon, probably yellow belly. I believe he's yellow belly. That'll be part of the testing, but he's 66% het clown from Shannon. So
I only have had sunset stuff so far.
And a lot of people are going light with the sunset, right?
Yeah.
Because it's called the sunset, so everyone thinks bright. I obviously have projects that go in that direction, Ultramel and Hypo and stuff like that. But I also want to take the sunset to the dark side. I think that it can potentially, it has potential. No one really knows. But I think it has potential on the dark side. Now, what potential exactly? I couldn't really tell you, but with the right morphs mixed in, highlighter morphs, like not like bright gene or like fader or anything like highlighter, but like morphs that accentuate pattern, that accentuate color, but keep it to the dark palette. That's what I think I'm going to go towards mainly with my sunset project. But I'm going to have two directions.
Yep.
One of them, speaking on that, the one weird one that I'm going to go for that my buddy already has double hets in the process of making is a genetic stripe sunset combo.
Okay.
So I want to make basically a snake that glows, the whole thing. But I want it to glow, and then I want to add the frost of hypo onto it.
Okay.
So I have this vision. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But with the genetics I have in mind, there's a good possibility.
Tyler, if you can take over.
Yeah.
All right. Jared, it was so nice to meet you. And
Is it time?
Yeah, Holly's not feeling well. She's sick.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be here for another little bit.
yeah.
All right. Well, take care, Holly.
See you,
Thank
Holly.
you. Thank you
Feel
for
better
coming
soon.
on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Sure.
Oh, see there.
And bam, there we go.
So this girl
Nope.
is a Orange Dream Enchi Hypo Calico. And I don't know if her calico is gonna pop up much. Let me yeah, it's hard to get with the
ring light there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can maybe see there.
Yep.
She's got it in her orange down low on her sides here and there.
Yep.
But yeah, Hypo Enchi Orange Dream Calico, and that's going to be paired to the Hypo Clown Het Pied male. Try and go for some visual Hypo double hits. Possible double hits. No, visual Hypo Het Clowns.
It'll be Het Clown Pos Het Pied.
Yeah, visual, yeah, Pos Het Pieds.
Yep.
So genetic testing will come into that play. I just wish her color wasn't so blown out because she's really pretty. But
that's the fun part about testing now is you can do pairings like that and figure out exactly what's what.
Yeah, you can, determine what you want to hold back and then test it. And then if it doesn't test for what you want, then you don't have to keep it. You can test another thing that you might have. But my plan for those projects and testing is I think a lot of people don't want to test the animals they're going to sell. I have a motto different than that. I want to test every animal. Not for the expenses, because the expense is obviously extravagant at that point, depending on the projects and what I'm going to be having. So that's my preliminary thought. But if I'm going to be sending out shed tests for a clutch,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be ordering the test groups beforehand. I'll get them for a discount. Then I'll be able to probably add that small, whether it's a small amount or not, I can weigh it out of the sale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
$50 for a single test isn't nothing. 35, I think it is now. So
Yeah.
by the time that happens, I think I'm going to be testing all animals so that I'm selling guaranteed genetics to everybody. I don't want to sell possible genetics personally, but I know that that's likely going to happen. So
I think, yeah, for me, it's in the middle, right? I think I'm going to be testing a lot more than I have, but it does
Yeah.
also depend on the animal and the project, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Is it worth testing some animals? I'm not even worried about pricing
yeah,
difference or anything, but it's just, is it worth it, right?
yeah, like if you hit a possible het clown combo and it's like, well, I could sell it as the combo
Yeah.
with the possible het and just make the combo money, or I can
Yeah, right.
test it, or I can test it and then I can sell it for the het, or I can test it and then sell it as not the het. So
Right. We'll just say, yeah, it's a whatever, 2G, like pastel entry, yellow belly, posset clown, even though hopefully I won't hit
yeah,
those. It's like, is it worth testing it?
yeah,
Right.
you have to weigh that out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I can increase my value by $100 by paying
Maybe.
35,
Right.
or I can lose 35 by paying 35.
Right. And it
So
also,
in that case, it's like just sell it.
Yeah. I think on the lower end stuff, it doesn't matter as much. Bringing in an animal from 100 to 200 or 200 to 500,
Yeah,
in my opinion, doesn't matter as much. But once you get to the higher end animals, I've backed off real quick on one animal that was, if you test it, it's $8,000, and if you don't, it's $4,000, and you have it listed for $4,000. So it's like,
Yeah.
why don't you test it at that point?
Yep.
What do you got here?
So this is my hypo female, and
Yep.
she's going to be one that I'm going to be having tested. She's the possible double het ultra pied. If you can see, she's got the Beats by Dre ear markings
Oh
on
yeah.
both sides. Both sides.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, she's got the dots on her ears. I love that. I have two snakes with that, and both of them are the other one's a double het DG clown. So I think that she's gonna prove out to probably have the het ultramel and probably double het. I don't know though. It's just a guess. But going off of her pattern aberrancies, the het pied seems to be there.
Okay.
The hypo busts up the tail too much,
Mhm.
the tracks.
Yep.
But you can still see she has
Decent tracks, yeah.
decent tracks.
I like
So
seeing the het stuff now. Now that there's been more and more made, like het pied, we've known for a while, kind of
Yeah.
like what your tellers are, but now again, your het monsoon markers.
I can tell there's het genetic stripe markers.
Yeah, there's het monarch markers that you can
Yeah.
look and go, okay.
There's het monsoon markers.
Right. There's now if you have again, like you were
There's
saying,
het paint markers. Like
yeah. Oh, paint.
everybody thought paint was codon for so long.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the markers are strong.
Yeah. Same with monsoon now, where it's like, if you can tell every het monsoon's a het monsoon, is it a het monsoon? Or is it a whatever monsoon, and then the visuals are super.
So there's my other girl with the earbuds.
Oh yeah.
She's got them on both sides there.
Yeah. And what's she?
She's a chocolate double het DG clown.
Nice.
The chocolate and the hypo.
Heck yeah. Hypo stuff. Gotta get it. Gotta get more hypo.
Yeah, hypo has been a staple for me, like since the beginning.
Yep.
Even during the times when hypo like dropped off the market, I still loved it because I knew like you're not gonna get that stained glass frost look with anything else.
Right. It's I love the hypo comeback over the past few seasons, past few years.
Yeah, yeah, especially with the multi-recessive hypo combos, hypo DG clown stuff,
Right.
and
I think almost any combo. It's one of those genes that I don't think I've ever seen a hypo in a combo and gone, nah, I wish it didn't have hypo.
exactly,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like there's a lot of the genes where you go, nah, maybe without this it would look better,
yeah,
or if it didn't have whatever Enchi. Like Enchi's a gene I like in a lot of stuff. But okay, maybe if it didn't have Enchi, it'd look better. But
yeah,
hypo, you throw it to your DG clowns, your sunsets, and your DG stuff. It's just like
yeah.
it's better. You can't deny it.
And especially with DG, it just adds that extra layer,
Yeah.
And honestly, with DG, I personally think hypo brings a little color back to the
Oh
adult
yeah.
DGs.
Yes.
Because especially with Orange Ghost, which is our normal line of hypo that we work, it definitely brings that orange tone back into the DG.
Yes. The
Helps it.
helps contrast with a couple of different things.
Mhm.
And I again, like I said, I don't think I've seen a hypo combo and gone, nope, take the hypo out. So
Yeah. I mean, there's been some hypo combos where I'm like, I can't tell if it's hypo or not. Like
yeah,
with
I agree.
banana, yellow belly, Enchi
Yeah.
stuff. It's like I can't tell if that's hypo or not because it's already purple and yellow.
Yeah, the banana hypo stuff, the ultramel hypo stuff to a degree is like
Yeah.
those types.
Especially if you get into Orange Dream, Ultra
Right.
Hypo. It's like
As
what's hypo and
who
what's
knows?
not.
Right. But at that point it's like the hypo I don't think is taking away. It's just not adding as much. You know what I mean? As it
It's
does.
not, yeah, it's not as apparent to the eye. That's just like some of these Kiki Clown combos, like the Red Stripe Fire Kiki Clown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's already so muted in the pattern. If you added hypo onto it, you wouldn't even tell.
Yeah. I think I'm curious to see what the hypo monarch stuff is because that's something I'm big into is the monarch stuff.
Yeah, Monarch
And,
is like you said. You're about to have a pairing clutch
Yeah.
cut or produced.
She is getting her last lock right now, so she's at about 25 millimeters. She's a het,
Nice.
and it's to my visual boy. So he put in a little bit of work last year. This year he's producing some nice babies too. I'll have actually 3 clutches are pretty much guaranteed from him now. After this lock, if she's growing crazy, this should be her last lock, and I'll get 3 clutches from him, maybe 4.
Okay,
So
I'll
it's
be
a
right
fun.
back.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right back.
Chris shot up DG Monarch. That speaking for myself here, I've seen them. I've seen one in person. Didn't blow me away. It's similar to what I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'd like to see it now. But it's hard to tell the difference, right? Like Monarch is already such a interesting gene, and when you added DG to it, it was hard to tell, kind of like the hypo banana stuff or like the hypo ultramel stuff, to a point where it was like, it's not detracting at all, but I don't know how much it's actually helping that. In my opinion, the way it helps is value and possibly long-term project. Like that's the only thing that the DG Monarch stuff does for me. I was thinking about doing a really nice pairing to make double hets this year with it, and kind of took my foot off the DG Monarch stuff just because of the ones I've seen didn't do it for me as much as, And if I'm wrong in a year or two, I'll go get some DG Monarch
I
stuff.
caught the end. I caught the end of that.
Yeah.
As far as DG Monarch, you pulled back on it. You said.
Yeah.
Do you think you pulled back on it because you saw the DG Sunset?
No, not at all. It was because I saw the DG Monarch visuals. I've seen them on Morph Market, and
They have them.
Yeah, I've seen one in person, and it kind of did what Ultramel Hypo did. It didn't add enough. Again, it didn't detract, but I couldn't tell you like, okay, DG made it 50% better, 100% better. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, the DG Monarch stuff that's being produced right now is more for value than it is actual look of the snake, and sometimes that backs me off of projects a lot.
Yeah.
Because if I hit a DG Monarch, I want it to be something I am very like gun ho on keeping compared to just listing it for 15K, which is what I think there's been 3 sold, and they all sold for over 15K.
Wow.
So I was debating on doing a pairing this year to make double hets, and those sell for a really good amount of money. I said, I'm not passionate about that project, and I think that's something that more breeders are doing and still need to do. Is like, it's like, okay, that clutch could be, high dollar, but I don't want it right now.
Yeah.
But my buddy who has the DG Monarch is doing a project with it that I might grab a baby or two from just to have. Because I think what he's putting into it might make it, a farther down the line project where the DG actually does do more than it is now.
What I'm getting from that is you view the DG Monarch similar to how a lot of people view like Hypo Sunset. Like Hypo Sunset works, but a lot of people see that as the base mutation that you have to build upon to really create something that's going to catch the market.
I see it as the way we were just talking about the Hypo Ultramel and the Hypo Banana stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think it's in the value right now for the Monarch stuff, and it's hard for me. Again, if I wanted to make that pairing right now, make my double hets, race them up for 2-3 years, and then go 1 in 16 on a double visual, it's not worth my time to then, if you hit a double visual, I'm not excited for it. And actually what I might find worth it to add DG into Monarch at all is you have to add at least 1 or 2 other recessives to have the DG, I think, have an influence with the Monarch stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm not going to produce them myself. My friend is going to produce the 2 genes in with it that I think could make a really, really heavy difference maybe when the Monarch and DG is together in the visual stuff. In the quad visual recessive stuff, the DG might add with the Monarch, but it's one of those things where I don't think the time or the value is worth it right now. I might as well wait 2 or 3 or 4 years to then buy into it when there's more stuff done with it.
Which leads me to the point of another reason why I was excited to get back into this. So, when I was younger and I had these big dreams, I'm watching these big breeders go and sell, a new morph, mutation is $30,000, $15,000. And I'm like, if only if I could be there, that could be me. But I think it came to a point where I had this realization that if I wanted to get there, I would have to start low, and I would have to do that. Go for 1 in 16, 1 in 32, 1 in 64 odds on a lot of these pairings. And this was back in the day when we didn't have the complexities of combinations and stuff. So me looking at that was like a huge mountain that I would have to climb over that I probably would never even see the peak of doing it that way. And I feel fortunate that I didn't try to really gung-ho it back then, because I feel like by this time in my life I would have been deterred from it, and mainly deterred from like just the economy and COVID and how the things I mean, that obviously helped the ball python market during that time period, but
Bring
I
back
just feel
Cody.
like I feel like I wouldn't be where I am now, and I feel
Yeah.
like I would be down and out by now. And because I saw that as a giant hurdle before, now I'm looking at everything and I'm looking at where everything has gotten to the point that it's at now, and I can invest into top end projects, especially right now and last year,
Yep.
way easier and way more equipped than I could have in the past. Not just financially, but for what's available.
I think,
Because
yeah, that's a hard game for me to play, right? So I'm young, obviously. I mean, I'm 19 years old, right? And I've sat and talked to my dad because he bred balls for a bit when he was about 20 years old, sold them off. I sit and I go, oh, dude, if you kept those animals, where would you be right now? Like, who knows? Like, the hard part is, yeah, if you got a Mojave, whatever, when they were 5K and you produced them, I think that the hard thing is your turnaround time back then was so much quicker. Like, with what was selling for high value compared to now, right? Even with the animals that you have and the animals that a lot of people have, you are shooting the 1 in 16s and the 1 in 28s, you're 1 in whatever 126s. And it's like to hit the one animal that sells right now for what a Mojave sold for in 2000.
yeah,
Right? So I think it's all part of the game and all part of the fun of what's going on right now in the ball python world. And you got to make smart pairings and stick it out because it'll be worth it, hopefully.
yeah. I mean, we all have to go for what we have our own mind's eye for, like,
And yeah,
you can say like, oh, well, you have this project and it looks like you're chasing this snake that guy made. And it's like,
yeah,
well, just because I have that pairing and it could make that snake doesn't mean that's my ultimate goal.
right.
You know?
And I think, yeah, like I said it a few minutes ago, right? That's what, I've had snakes since I was 8, bred since I was 12. I'm 19. I've bred snakes for 7 years now, and it turned into a business, 3-4 years ago, right? But what keeps me more into it and doesn't get me tired out is the work the projects you like and the projects you want to work, and don't go after the Desert Ghost Monarch, because I feel like that is what will drain you compared to like that clown pied girl back there that's gravid was bred to my Monarch male. So they'll be 100% triple hat Monarch clown pieds.
Nice.
Right? Like that is what I would rather do that, even though I know the clown pied stuff is going down quick. I'd rather do that than the DG Monarchs, right? It's just it gets me more excited to do that over the Desert Ghost Monarch stuff. And
Desert Ghost is such a hard morph for me. Like I have it in many projects too.
The same way.
But it's hard for me in different mutations because it's like you see it with Sunset, like the DG Sunset that Miguel hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, okay, I can see it layers, right? It layers into the Sunset. It brightens up some of the pattern, and overall, though, it didn't do too much.
Yeah.
Now, as it ages, is where we're going to see the contrasting difference between the dirtying up of the Sunset fighting that Desert Ghost lightening up.
I'm gonna be honest. He hit it and I didn't like it. And then he posted a picture of it at 800 grams, and I said, "Yep, I do like it."
Did he post a recent one?
I think it was on a video or it was a picture, a story that it paired to something, and I went, "I do like that." Like,
okay,
from the hatchling to 200-300 grams to now, I think it's like 1,000 grams. It's like I like it.
Yeah, I'd have to see it updated though, because I'm curious how those two contrasting elements fought each other.
Well, Jared, it was a great show. I'm gonna hop off, or we're gonna end stream. If you want to stick backstage for a little bit, Sounds good. But everyone in the chat, thank you so much for hopping on. Next week is going to be the Reptile Lounge podcast on Wednesday. And then the week after, we're back with another interview. So thank you, chat. Thank you, Jared. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.